My mission is to impact the hearts and minds of women, helping them change their stories and empowering them to love themselves, their bodies, and their lives.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Change Your Story podcast. I'm Hannah Dawson, your host and transformation coach. I'm a certified personal trainer, nutritionist, mindset coach, writer, speaker, and creator of the Fit Club Babes app, and I am here to help you transform your life. While I love teaching all things nutrition and fitness, and trust me, you'll get lots of that on here, my true passion lies in the power of mindset and self-relationship. I know firsthand how powerful a mindset shift can be. It has profoundly impacted not only my health and fitness journey, but also my relationship with myself, and it can do the same for you too. Many women believe as we age, we lose our beauty, body, and health, but that's not true. You can feel and look amazing and get better with age, and I'm going to show you how. Are you ready to change your story? Let's flip the script one thought at a time. What is up, ladies? Welcome back to the Change Your Story podcast. I am so excited to be here with you today. Today we have a hot topic. It's one that comes up quite regularly, and that is binging and craving. Cravings and binging. And today we're going to go over 5 surprising reasons why you may feel like your cravings are out of control and you find yourself binging in the pantry. So I'm so excited to go over those with you today. Again, my biggest ask, ladies, that I have of you, like the biggest ask that I need from you is your reviews and your comments. That's the biggest ask I could have of you, because that really is the best way that you can support me on this podcast, especially if you find value in this podcast. And if you're like, Hannah, I've already left you reviews and rated this podcast and I love listening, the next best thing that you can do is screenshot it, share it on social media, or just share it with 2 to 3 friends that you know, or 2 to 3 people that you know that it would really help or impact their life. That is the biggest ask. So I just ask if you could pause it for a couple seconds, go and rate the stars. Just go to the main page, leave a review, whether you're on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and I would be really, really grateful, like absolutely so grateful. And then we are going to get right into this podcast episode. So go pause it, go do that, and I'll meet you back here. All right, you guys. So today we're going to really be talking about, binging and craving. All right. This is something that I think a lot of women struggle with. And so if you've really struggled with cravings or binge eating, I want to say you're not alone. Many of us have struggled with this. We feel frustrated, maybe ashamed, and we find ourselves in this really unhealthy cycle. But here's the thing. The good news is understanding why this happens can be the first step to breaking it. I'm going to give you all of the tips and the reasons why, and share a personal story of my own as well. So just know that these behaviors aren't personal failings, okay? They're just often responses to other specific factors in our life, whatever those may be. And we will go through those today. You guys, my goal here is to help you understand the root cause behind your cravings and binge eating, and really to help you have a healthier relationship with food and your body. And if you are like, yes, that's what I want, well, you are in the right place. So let's go over the first reason. One of the biggest reasons, ladies, is number 1, you are not nourishing your body properly. All right? Not tracking or knowing what you're eating is not accurate, right? If we're not understanding what our body needs and giving it what it needs, then we're probably not getting our body's not getting what it needs. If our body lacks certain nutrients, it's going to send signals, cravings, to get what it needs. And a lot of the times we reach to satisfy those cravings or cope with those cravings with things that, it's not getting the benefits of the nutrients from. And so, one of the biggest, I'm going to share little stories, and some of you may have known this, some of you may not, but a few years ago, probably 4 years ago, I decided to quit dieting, like quit going in a deficit, quit trying to restrict my calories, and I actually decided to do a build and eat more than my maintenance calories. And so I had to track for this. And one of the biggest things that I found, and this is why I'm so passionate about food and getting women to eat more food, is for one, my binging went away. My cravings went away. When I made sure that I was eating my breakfast, my lunch, my dinners, and they were balanced with the amount of food I needed to actually put muscle on, I was full. And I wasn't hungry. I wasn't in the pantry at night. My body felt amazing. I had more energy. I should say I still have more energy. I started sleeping better. My workouts got better. And the biggest thing is the cravings and the binge eating stopped. Actually, the cravings weren't even there because some of you may understand and some of you may not understand that you have two hunger hormones. And these hunger hormones play a really crucial role in keeping you alive. And this is leptin and ghrelin. And so ghrelin is the hunger cue and it signals you to want to eat. All right. Leptin is a satiation hormone and it's found in your fat cells. And so when you are eating what you need to eat. So for me, when I was in a build, why it was so hard to eat, because leptin's like, no, we're good. And its main job is to keep you at homeostasis. Okay. So this is at enough calories in as going out, right? This, the amount of calories going out, it will make sure that you are consuming in. Now, if we're not intentional, if we're at maintenance, it could be not balanced macronutrients. And that's why we can kind of have this, this fear mindset around, oh, maintenance, nothing happens. Well, you just haven't done maintenance intentionally. And so when I was in a build, go back to the build, my ghrelin wasn't signaling. It was my leptin. My leptin's like, no, we're good. So I'd be kind of like full and like not wanting to eat, but I had to eat because I needed to get more calories so that my body could feed my muscle and help me build muscle and help me recover. And when you're in a deficit, when you're not getting enough food, leptin is nowhere to be found. Ghrelin will kick in. And for a lot of people, if you have always been chasing diet, so you've been a yo-yo dieter, ghrelin can kick in even before you go on a diet, because it's literally your body's thinking, oh no, we're going to starve ourselves. She's going to starve us again. So we need to eat. So then you start feeling hungry. I've heard more than a handful of women, and I've probably said it in the past too, like, oh, I look at a donut and I gain 10 pounds. That is ghrelin. And that's just because, you haven't done things in a proper way. So your hormones are not balanced. So when you're having cravings all the time in binging, it can be due to just not getting enough nutrients, enough food that you need throughout the day. So that's why tracking is so important. And I hear women go, it's obsessive. It's not. It's like, do you track your bank account? Well, then you need to track your nutrients to make sure that you are getting enough, not from a place of restriction, but from a place of like, are you getting enough proteins, carbs, and fats? Because they each play a role in your body. Okay, second reason you may be binging or have cravings is skipping meals. All right, skipping meals can lead to a starve and then binge cycle as the body tries to make up for missed fuel. All right, so food is fuel. So calories are energy. That's it. And when our body's not getting it, it will make up for it. So like maybe you're like like what I used to do. I would restrict during the day and I'd be like, oh, I'm doing so good. And then it wasn't until after and like the kids got home and then the fighting started or something happened. Then they finally went to bed that my body is like, oh, we just need a fix. Like, it was like, I just need a dopamine hit, the hit of sugar. And so I'd find myself like do good all day. And then I would just be into like the sweets and treats at night or whatever, chips, or, even if it was healthy, I would just end up overeating. And that never felt good. I always would feel like I have no control. Like, what is wrong with me? But it was just because I wasn't getting enough throughout the day or skipping meals. And then another thing too is you could be like, oh, I don't do that during the week, but you do, like you restrict all week, you barely eat all week, but then on the weekends, then you go over and it's fast food and it's drinks and it's this and it's that and like really calorie dense foods. And so you're like going over. So that's also a binge restrict cycle, skipping meals. Okay. So it's really important to understand that, you have to try to maintain a consistent healthy meal times, even when life gets busy. And this just comes from preparation. And so the biggest thing that I can say, and as a coach, as a woman, as a trainer, is, I really emphasize balance and nourishment. And this is what the Fit Club app is all about. It's about having meals that fuel your body properly so that you don't experience these, and you have the energy that you need, and then you get the results in your body that you want. And so it's just really important, for me as a coach, is to educate you and to teach you that, food is good for you. Food is fuel. And so don't skip the meals. Just get prepared, get organized. It doesn't have to be fancy. And so that's, what I teach as a coach. And that's what my platform is all about, is teaching you that flexibility with your nutrition, that, there's room for everything, but there's things that we need to be making sure that we're getting. And skipping meals isn't going to help. And, it's just going to lead to our body not being fully nourished, and that binge restrict cycle and those cravings to be out of control. All right. So the third reason why you may be feeling like your cravings are out of control or binging is restricting calories and food groups. So same thing kind of with skipping meals. Sometimes maybe you just skipping meals is just a lack of organization and preparation, but maybe you're actually just restricting your calories, kind of like what I was doing. Right? And when you restrict calories, you also restrict nutrients. That's important to understand. And then maybe you're not even restricting calories, but you're cutting out food groups, like you're too afraid to touch carbs or fats, or maybe not even proteins. You're eating vegetables and fruit because you think that that's how you'll lose weight, or you're eating really low calorie foods. Well, when you eat really low calorie foods, guess what? Calories are energy. So you have really low energy. And then your body's not getting the nutrients it needs. So it will come up in cravings. Ghrelin will kick in, and all you want is that fast, greasy, cheap, full of fat and sugars foods. That's the first thing that your body wants, because it wants to get those calories in really quick. So it's important to understand that restricting certain food groups or calories too drastically will backfire. It always does. And it will lead to cravings as the body wants to get what it has been missing, what it's been missing. So it's important to understand, ladies, that to think in terms of balance, not deprivation. So we have to think in terms of having flexibility and taking control of your nutrition and making sure that you, just like your child or someone you love, you make sure that they get what they need, that their body gets what they need so they're not malnourished. You need to do that for yourself. And so in the Fit Club, I really teach flexible nutrition. I actually created a course called Macros to Muscle because I'm so passionate about this, because understanding nutrition totally changed my relationship with food, in the sense that, like, I used to be such a chronic dieter. I used to think that carbs were bad. I did keto there for a bit. I was into carb cycling there for a bit. I really believed that there was good and bad food. And so when I started getting educated about nutrition and really started understanding nutrition, it really freed me. And it really, when I did the build and started eating more, and started looking leaner and had more energy and had no cravings, I thought, why was I not doing this sooner? I need to teach women this. And so when you focus yourself on getting nourished and seeing food as a way to fuel you and getting the right amount of nutrients, rather than restricting, your body will get what it needs to thrive. Okay, so number 4 reason why you may be experiencing cravings or binge eating is not getting enough sleep. Now, sleep plays such a crucial role. Ladies, I know it can be tempting when you have young ones or just a big family that nighttime is like your alone time. And so it can be really easy to like scroll on social media instead of going to sleep earlier, or binge watching your series. And now it's midnight or 1 a.m. and you sacrifice sleep. And so what happens when we sacrifice sleep, it actually impacts our hormones like leptin and ghrelin. So those hunger hormones. So ghrelin actually increases. And why does this increase? Because when we're tired, our body wants energy to keep us up. So sugar is the first thing that we start craving. So if you've ever experienced feeling fatigued during the day and your sugar cravings felt out of control, it was just because you need to get proper sleep. So really prioritize sleep, okay? Really prioritize getting sleep. This can can be something that is really hard in the beginning to discipline if you've been a person that, stays up really late. But it's really important to understand that your body needs that sleep. That's when everything repairs and restores, is when you sleep. That's when everything resets. In the Fit Club app, we have a sleep tracker, we have a sleep challenge, and it's just making sure that you're getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep. And honestly, this will change everything. From your skin will look more glowy, your energy will be better, your hormones will be balanced, your mood will be better, your creativity and your thinking will just be more on point. So sleep is super important. All right, the fifth and final reason why you may be experiencing cravings and binge eating is stress, okay? Stress raises cortisol, and this often leads to cravings for high carb or comfort foods because it becomes an emotional tool. It becomes an emotional coping tool. When we feel stressed, our body wants dopamine, right? It wants that happy chemical. And like a drug, food can do that for us. Food is probably one of the most overused drugs in our world to cope with emotions. So if we're stressed a lot and we're going to craving foods, it could just be because we're stressed. So we really have to find non-food ways to manage stress, like movement, doing your workouts, journaling, deep breathing. Another thing, getting proper sleep, going for walks, finding other ways to cope, talking to a therapist, finding ways to cope other than coping with food, because food only lasts for a second, and it's typically stuff that makes us feel even worse after. All right. This is really the biggest thing that I really talk about in the Fit Club app and in our Fit Club community is mindset. And so mindset should always be a part of your routine. Every day, our mind needs to be fed, right? Every day we need to feed our mind and we have to exercise our mind. So that's, again, with meditation, prayer, journaling, personal growth, reading books that really set our mind up for success. Sometimes it's just changing our perspective when we could be going through a challenging time. Really, it could be one thing that you read in a book, in a personal growth book, or listen to a motivational speaker say that really, changes our perspective and lowers our stress level. Meditation, there's huge science behind it, how it lowers our stress level. So just doing things like that, journaling your feelings, all of that, we really focus in the Fit Club, really focus on those morning routines and those daily rituals to really help with mindset. It's such a huge part of who I am. It's such a huge part of my life, but it's such a huge part of what I teach as a coach. And so, lastly, but not leastly, ladies, it's important to understand that cravings and binge eating, they're just signals from the body. And so when you start to get in tune with, okay, where's these signals coming in the Fit Club, we call this biofeedback. Okay, we do weekly check-ins. And this is like we rate our sleep, we rate our nutrition adherence, we rate our training adherence, we rate our energy levels, our mood from a 1 to 10. And our goal is to get between an 8 and a 10 every single week. In whatever area we're below 80%, and we try to focus on that area. And that's really important because, it's really hard to make progress if you're not reflecting back and evaluating what's going on. You can't just go 100 miles an hour and then, not stop to kind of reflect and evaluate, how am I feeling? What is going on? Only you know what's going on with your body, but you have to take the time to kind of evaluate this. And this is what I do in the Fit Club. This is what I do with all of our amazing, incredible women, and what I teach and really empower you to do in your life is really to build these type of habits with your nutrition, with your training, with your mindset, because they all are linked. And yeah, it might seem like cravings and binging are out of control, but there's always a root cause. And so you'll be able to get to that root cause. And I hope that these tips really brought some awareness to you, and only you can make the decision to do it. I can teach you and I can give you advice and give you the education and the motivation and empower you, but you have to be the one to take the step to do it. So that said, the step to do it, I have some homework for you. So here is some prompts, I would say, some homeworks. Don't feel like you have to do all of these, okay? But just to kind of get your your creative juices flowing, whatever one resonates with you most, that is the one for you. Now, if you're driving, you might want to pause and come back to this. We're towards the end of the podcast, so you can skip through to the end to get the homeworks. Actually, I'll put these in the show notes for you, okay? So you can check the show notes. The first one is writing in a journal. So why am I craving this? So next time you experience a craving, pause and ask yourself, why am I craving this? And write down your thoughts. So focusing on whether this is physical hunger, stress, a response to skipping meals, or something else. Whenever we go to work and be a detective in our lives, we'll find the answers, okay? So I just want to encourage you, just to take the time to do this. Maybe like say for the next 2 days, for all of my cravings, I'm just going to write them in a little journal or even on your notes in your phone. And let me know. Share in our Facebook community or share in my DMs. I want to know what comes up for you. And just to let you know that this is a huge part of the Fit Club app community, and in our app we have mindset practices and journaling practices every morning that you can do to go through this. The second thing that you can do for homework, if this resonates more with you, is to eat consistently for 3 days. So this means to set a goal, to prep some food and eat consistently for 3 days, your breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snack, and have them all prepared. And then I want you to notice how this impacts your cravings or energy levels throughout the day. The days that you have your food prepped and you eat it, and you might have to set a timer. If you have gotten really good at ignoring your hunger signals, I would set a timer for every 3 hours and eat. So your breakfast, eat it as soon as you get up. Even if you're not hungry, just eat it. And then maybe 3 hours after, have a snack or your lunch. It depends how early you get up. And then every 3 hours eat, whether it's a main meal or a snack, and try to focus on more protein, balanced meals, but really hitting that protein. Don't be afraid of carbs and fats, add those too. But most women struggle to hit their protein. So make sure you have some protein in all of your meals and that they're balanced with proteins, carbs, and fats. And just note how you feel. And then, let me know how this works for you. I would love to know. So you can post in our Facebook community if you're a part of the Fit Club, or you can DM me and let me know, what this is like, what you experienced. Okay, so the third piece of homework that you could do is for stress. Okay, so non-food ways to decompress, right? Like I said, sometimes we got to get used to not going to food when we feel stressed. So the next time you feel a craving during a stressful moment, I want you to try to cope in a non-food way. So this could be like going for a short walk. This could be deep breathing. This could be journaling. Write down what you did and how it made you feel. And I would love to know. So whatever you're doing through this whole thing, if it's helping you, please share with me so I can share with our audience and I can give you a shout out, and, it will inspire others as well. And so the next one. Okay. So the next piece of homework, if sleep was a problem for you, if you were not sure if sleep was why your cravings were going out of control, is doing a sleep challenge. Okay. And in our app, you can do a sleep challenge. So this is trying to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night. So this may be meaning to track your sleep for 5 days, but trying to get proper sleep. So if you go to bed at 10, try to go to bed at 9 and get that extra hour of sleep. Just make sure that you're getting enough sleep. So just force yourself for those 5 days and notice how you feel in the day. Like, take note of your energy, take note of your cravings, and notice if anything is different. And then I want you to share with me, okay? So don't forget to share this with me. This is so important. I love hearing your guys' feedback. I love hearing how your life gets better. And then last piece, that you can do for homework, and again, choose the one that resonates with you, is reframe your self-talk from I can't have this to I choose to fuel my body, right? When you catch yourself craving something you feel is off limits, try reframing your thoughts. And instead of I can't have this, say I choose to fuel my body with foods that help me feel my best. Write down in your journal after you try this, and how it feels different, how it impacts your cravings or your mood, because one little thing can change everything. So, and again, come and share with me how this has impacted you. And so that is it. That is all. I hope this has brought encouragement. I hope this has impacted your heart and your mind today. I love you all. I thank you so much for your support. I thank you that I get to be the voice in your ears today, and I would love to know how this is impacting your life. So please leave me a review. Don't forget to rate the show. Rate the show. And if you have done those already, screenshot this and let me know where you're tuning in from today and tag me on social media. You guys, that is it. Bye for now. Have an amazing day.